Alright guys, here we go. We're going into day 2. Today, we're just going to be working on how to get the ball on top of the car. This is going to be the setup, maybe trying to control it a little bit past there. But that's going to kind of be the vibe for today. Hope everyone's been having a good one. Hope you all enjoy this series, and I hope you all are looking forward to just where this is going to go, and maybe your just experience and just getting better at control in general. We're going to get warmed up first, as is what we always do, and just kind of get our hands warm, get our fingers warm. If you're already warm, definitely feel free to skip ahead. Let me know down in the comments how your day's been going, and maybe your favorite dinner. If you have a favorite dinner, let me know, because I'm kind of hungry right now. I gotta go for some dinner. It's been a long day, but make sure to get warmed up. Make sure you're feeling nice and cozy. Make sure you got maybe a cup of water, maybe a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you like, next to you. You're nice and cozy and warm. So you don't want to be cold while you play. That's one of my least favorite things. We're gonna probably start ramping up how we do the series and the complexity of this pretty quick. Since it's dribbling, you can't really start too low, because there's not much to it other than doing the dribble, and then everything gets kind of a lot more complicated after you can get a pop and just catch the ball like so. Like, I mean, everything just kind of gets a lot more difficult after that. So it'll probably pick up pretty quick. Try and stay with if you can. Either way, this is going to be a good series for you, and especially maybe just like pushing yourself for like a month to work on something, because if you work on dribbles for a month, you're going to get better regardless, even if you're not doing everything that we're doing in the video, even if you're just training along with us and working on getting your setups or working on getting your control, anything like that. I have played quite a bit of Rocket League today, so I'm feeling warm, so we're just going to kind of get right into it. If you want to work on just getting the ball on top of your car, you can press up and we'll put it on top of your car, but I don't recommend starting here, because if you've watched away the series, I believe that working on the setup is important. So work on hitting the ball in one direction, coming the other way, and just driving into it. And the ball should just pop right up. All you want to do is be able to get this pop and drive under the ball. Try and pay attention to where your car is under the ball, because if the ball is too far forward, it's obviously going to roll off. And if it's too far back, it's going to roll off the back of your car. Like so. And then it's just kind of awkward. Anyway, we're just going to work on for a few minutes getting this set up. And then the quicker you can get this set up, the better, because in games, you're going to need to be able to get the ball on top of your car. There's going to be times you need to do it. And it's going to be easier for you to control the ball if you can get a setup and control it where you want. And once you learn to control the ball like this, obviously, then you can get into flicking and stuff. And that's when it starts getting even more complicated. So as long as you have a good setup, get used to just turning into the ball, kind of where its momentum's going. I don't think you need to boost too much at the beginning. Try and do it without boosting, because it's going to be a little bit easier. You want to not be slamming your boost, because you're just going to go right by the ball. It's really good to start this kind of stuff off slowly. Just turn around, get the pop, and just try and get on the ball. You don't have to catch it perfectly like me here. Just get maybe 1 or 2 touches. Just try and keep it on top of your car. Keep in mind, if you're trying to keep it on top of your car, you want your wheels to be about here if you want to keep controlling it. Kind of in between the halfway mark and the second circle. If the ball starts to go one way, do a turn the way that is falling off, and vice versa. You don't want to like boost and turn too much, because then you're going to lose possession. It's important to do these like little tiny corrections. You can probably see my joystick there, and I make really small corrections. I try not to hold it for too long. But don't worry too much if you can't dribble yet. Right now we're just working on getting the setup. Make sure you're feathering your throttle. Yesterday we worked on following the speed of the ball, and today's just getting this pop, driving under the ball. Don't rush it. This is something you really got to get a feel for and just get a catch. Make it as slow as you need to. There's no reason to rush this. If you can get it even just rolling one way and get in front of the ball and drive, you'll get such a nice little pop, and you can just get it right on top of your car. I'd shoot for maybe just getting one little touch. If you can't control it past here, then just go for another setup. Back and forth. See how I'm really just feathering, making really small adjustments. And once you get good at this, you don't even have to look at the ball anymore. You kind of just get it on top of your car, and you get real clean control. I think dribbling's often overlooked for a lot of people. I started learning dribbling when I was pretty close to Diamond 1. So I think it's good to do that. And then I worked on air dribbles after that, obviously. But just keep working on your setup. The more consistent you are with this setup, the quicker it'll be for you to start really learning how to dribble. Because once you do this, then it's just about recorrecting it and getting those little corrections. Because when you get your setup at first, it's going to be difficult for you to get a good catch. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get used to how you're going to need to move your left stick, or where you need to move your car under the ball. Just work on getting that pop, that setup. Make sure you're just hitting it in that opposite direction of where it's already going. Sometimes you can boost into it to get a higher pop if you want, but it will hit it further away from you. I recommend without, because, I mean, you really don't need it. As long as you can make big sweeping turns, you should be able to catch back up to the ball just fine. And when you're catching the ball like this, what I like to do is I get under and then I kind of let go of my throttle and boost. Like, I try not to be boosting or accelerating at all when I go for it, because I think if you're trying to go for this setup and you're accelerating while you hit it, it's just going to keep the ball like moving forward on you. You want to kind of stop the ball's momentum and just control it. Don't be afraid to play around with how often you're tapping accelerate or how far you have to move your stick. It's best normally to do micro adjustments. It's rather than like these big sweeping corrections, because a lot of people early on will try and get this catch and then they'll get too far to one side and they'll lose possession because they're trying to overcorrect. It's much smaller corrections than you think you need. That's why I think it's good to start off with doing these really slow dribbles. I practiced dribbling without boost for quite a long time. I think it's a great mechanic to learn and work on, because it kind of gets you used to just how quick you actually need to be with the ball, how much time you have with it. And it also is good for in-game if you don't have any boost, but you can catch the ball and your opponent's there. You can start learning flicks, you can just flick it right by him. You don't need boost to get some nice flicks, especially if it's like one like this where it's a backflip flick. And if they challenge you on that, then they're gone. They're gone. But I'd say if you can get this set up, you can get it on your car and hold it for like maybe 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. You can do that 10 times in a row. And I'd say it's time for you to start focusing on just keeping the ball on top of you. Try not to speed it up. Keep an eye on where your wheels are in relation to the ball. Not to be too far forward. Not to be too far back. Work on getting that setup and that pop. Doesn't matter if you can't carry it perfectly. Dribbling is a harder mechanic, and it's gonna take you a little bit, but it's gonna teach you so much more than just dribbling itself. It'll teach you control the ball. It'll teach you following the speed. You'll just be able to catch it and control it in ways that before it just didn't seem possible. Because if you can control the ball and you can get a dribble like this, just get it into the net with 0 seconds on the clock, I mean, that's pretty satisfying. Just keep working on getting this set up. Maybe drop it and turn on it, catch it again. Make sure you're practicing these from the left and the right. Maybe try and carry it and then do a little circle. If you have any tips for anyone, feel free to leave them down in the comments. If you think you've got any good insight, definitely leave it down in the comments. whatever you think will help other people learn dribbles more. Do your best to feather that throttle. Really follow the energy of the ball. Don't force it too hard, because the more corrections you make, the more forceful you are with it, it makes the whole process harder. These first few episodes might be a little shorter because they're pretty straightforward, and we're just kind of working on getting this setup down. If you need to practice it for longer, definitely practice it for longer, but as long as you can get this set up and get it on top of your car and hold it for like 2 seconds, and if you can do that 10 times in a row without fail, and I'd say you're ready to move on to tomorrow's video. I'd say you've passed, you've done good for the day. And don't forget to congratulate yourself. It's really important to make sure you take note of improvement. Like, if you weren't dribbling before this and you didn't even try and do this, and you can do it, then I mean, that's great. That's awesome. Tomorrow's video will probably work on holding this ball on top of our car for longer, because right now we're just getting the setup and getting a few seconds on it. But tomorrow we're going to try and work on holding the ball as long as we can, and really paying attention to those left stick movements, the really quick and small movements we need to make to control the ball. Make sure you're trying to do corrections to the left as well. Try and turn it. You can try and power slide every now and again if you want. It's good to start learning power slide as soon as you can, because power slide with accelerate, you can get some weird fun turns and pops on this ball. And it's just, power slide is a fun one to work with. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. I'm sorry they're not going to be long for these first few, just because it's just going to be a quick little session kind of showing you what to do. Feel free to listen to any of my lo-fi mixes if you want to keep working on just getting this pop. If you have any questions, join my Discord, DM me. You know what to do. You know where to find me. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace. We'll see you tomorrow.